Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
The Border City Connects is putting on their third annual Play It Forward hockey charity event coming up in April. Aaron Buckingham, the fire chief here in Lloydminster, is the founder of the charity event. He started this fundraiser to help Border City Connects and bring the community closer together.
A fundraiser to help Border City Connects. It was like, what does Lloydminster love? Lloydminster loves hockey and Lloydminster loves community, right? How can we marry those two things together? So we came up with the idea for the Play It Forward charity hockey game, a 12-hour game in which the players go out and play and raise funds for Border City Connects.
Each player must raise a minimum of $500 to play in the game. Organizers hope to raise $70,000 to be used for a new Border City Care van, which helps many within the community.
Border City Connects has so many different things that they do in the community. I don't think most people realize the stuff that goes on. So one of those is the caravans that drive people back and forth to major centers for medical appointments that don't have any other way to get there. And one of those was miling out. And for me, the last thing I want to see is someone's grandmother broke down on the side of the road in a van that we're using that's miled out.
The event will take place on April 19th from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at the Service Sports Center, and you can register and donate on their website at Border City Connects. Lloydminster is set to add a new fire truck to its fleet this year. The current fire truck, Pump 15, has exceeded its lifespan by 2 years now. For 22 years, the fire truck's been solid and reliable for Lloyd, but it's time for an upgrade.
City that is in essence the fleet reserve that is responsible for purchasing those long-term assets, dump trucks, graders, loaders, and now fire trucks. From that perspective, money is put into that fund every year by various departments, and that's where the money is coming from to acquire the new fire truck.
The new truck is expected to be in circulation this summer, with the cost sitting at over $1.1 million.
I want to remind people fire trucks have a lifespan. As much as our team does a great job maintaining them and making them look like new, once they reach a point, they have to come out of service. And that's where we're at with unit Pumper 15.
The city is still looking to sell Pump 15 at fair market value. Callum Hawker joins me now to talk about the weather. And Callum, it's been fairly nice and mild and not too exciting weather-wise. So do we have anything coming?
Not really, but it's been a very warm week, Leanne, like you said. Basically spring-like conditions all week long and super sunny, which has been nice. That sun has been super warm, but yet keeping those roads super slippery with the kind of constant melting and freezing. So if you are in your cars or even on the sidewalks, please be careful. It's super slick out there. But current temperatures in the border city, like I said, super sunny and super warm. Current temperatures of 3 degrees right now with a little bit of wind chill at -3, so not much, but we do see 32 kilometer an hour west winds coming in. So pretty windy, but like I said, very warm and very sunny. Current temperatures across Alberta, Cold Lake and Bonnyville at 6 degrees. We're kind of seeing these warm temperatures all throughout Alberta and Saskatchewan. Marwayne and St. Paul, 4 degrees. Up in Lac La Biche is at 7. Down in Vegreville and Vermilion and Wainwright and Provost is all at 5 degrees currently. And then Edmonton being very warm, almost getting almost at that double-digit mark, hitting 9 degrees. And then as we move our way on to the Saskatchewan side here, Pearceland's at 5, same with Green Lake and Meadow Lake. St. Walburg currently at 4 degrees. Maidstone is at 3, Macklin is at 5, and North Battleford is at 4 degrees, while Isle La Crosse being the only one in freezing temperatures right now at -4. Tonight's forecast in North Battleford, it will drop in temperatures, a low of -10 tonight with some clouds coming in, but not too windy. Only 7 kilometer an hour winds there in North Battleford tonight. Tomorrow's forecast for North Battleford, pretty sunny as well. Some clouds coming in throughout the day, but the high will be 4 degrees. So similar temperatures that they've been seeing this week will go on again tomorrow. Tonight's forecast in Cold Lake, a low of -6 and partly cloudy as well, with some winds of 9 kilometers an hour. And yeah, no precipitation as well with the little clouds. And then tomorrow's forecast in Cold Lake, a high of 7 degrees and actually could see some showers throughout the day with 40% precipitation and some winds coming at 20 kilometers an hour. So a little windy tomorrow in Cold Lake as well. And then tonight in Lloydminster, a low of -5, not as cold as we've been seeing lately in the evening temperatures, but it will freeze again. Like I said earlier, if you're on the roads, please be careful. It's very slick out there with some winds dying down to about 17 kilometers an hour tonight. And tomorrow's forecast throughout the day, 6 a.m. -5, and then as we go into noon, mostly sunny, 3 degrees. 6 p.m. Mostly clear as well, 3 degrees then. And then midnight, mostly clear with 1 degree. So actually going into the night tomorrow, it will be very, very warm, not even going into the negatives. But that is all for your first look at our weather report. We'll have some more news with Leanne after the break.
The 13th annual Progress Steer and Heifer Show will be held March 16th and 17th at the Lloyd X. With entries closing at the beginning of next month, our Thomas Wildman found out all the details of the event.
Today I am joined by Brad Payne, the chairman of the Progress Steer and Heifer Show, which will be coming up this March, and he's going to be talking to us a little bit about how the two shows are going to be working underneath the Steer and Heifer Show. And so thank you so much for being with me today, Brad.
Real good, thanks for having me.
All right, Brad, so talk to us about a little bit about how this show works, and for those who are unaware about how the Steer and Heifer shows works on the 2 days on the weekend.
Okay, so we start off Saturday at noonish with the Justimere Junior Steer and Heifer Show. It's only allowed for junior members, which we call junior. It's 21 years and younger of that particular day. And then the open show is sponsored by GMAC, and that is held on Sunday, and that starts at, I do believe, 9:30 in the morning, and it will run till we finish.
Awesome. And so we'll talk a little bit about the Justimere Junior Show. Justimere has been sponsoring this show, of course, for a number of years, and just how important it is to have a junior jackpot. There's many of these across all of Alberta and Saskatchewan, and just having one here in the border city for 4-H kids, and of course, kids who maybe are also gone to post-secondary as well.
Right. We started the actual Justimere Junior Show back, I'm thinking it was 8 years ago. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's when it was. John and Shelley and family sponsor it. They've been our main sponsor for that particular day. We go through the classes, and heifers are judged first, and steers are judged later, and we go from there.
Perfect. And so with the GMAC show as well, that's going to be, of course, all of the steer jockeys and the high important showmen from across the region will be coming for that. What are our showmen going to be looking at for the prize money at GMAC, of course, to make sure that they want to come out to such a illustrious event?
Okay, GMAC, actually I got to put this in there. Greg and his family has been sponsoring us from the word go, so they've been a sponsor for us for 13 years, which is absolutely great on his end. As far as prizes, the champion heifer will walk away with approximately $1,300. The reserve will walk away with $800 or so-ish in their pocket. We have, and that's for the steers and heifers. We have people coming from Saskatchewan, Alberta, right from the southern corner, Carstairs, Lethbridge, Swift Current, Weyburn, far east is Yorkton, Alberta, on the other side of Edmonton. Covers a very big area. Oh, I forgot. I think we do have an exhibitor coming from BC also. And actually over the years, we've had exhibitors from Ontario and Manitoba also. So it's quite large. We started the show just, I guess you could call it coffee talk. A couple of us got together and said these young kids need something more to do than just 4-H. So it's actually surprising. We've had exhibitors that were 4-H members that we've actually had back and judged our show for us. So that's pretty good too.
And I know you guys will probably eventually reveal this, but are you guys allowed to reveal our 2 judges for the days they're coming up this March?
Yes, we can do that. Our junior judge for the day on Saturday will be Dwayne Martin from the Stettler country, and our open show judge is Owen Lee Garden from just out east here at Payton country.
Awesome. So it's going to be a truly fantastic Alberta-Saskatchewan show here in Lloydminster at the Lloyd X. So be sure to come out if you've got cattle ready for, if you're a junior member, for the Justmere show as well as the GMAC show, and of course all of the other exhibitors. Be ready for GMAC. That's coming up this March.
Now here are your agriculture prices for today. As the youth hockey season comes to a close, players can look forward to sharpening their skills in the summer months as a new power skating camp comes to town.
Today I'm here with Mitch Cobbett, a hockey coach and owner of Cobb's Power Skating. Mitch, thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us today about your upcoming power skating camp.
No problem, man. Thank you.
So starting in your younger years, what was it like growing up and playing hockey?
So I had a unique experience because I actually grew up overseas in Dubai. So our hockey program over there was next to nothing. We used to have a 1-hour practice every week and then a 1-hour runtime game on the weekend. And I did that from age 6 to 13. So as a young hockey player, there was kind of not much going on. But we were able to come back to Canada in the summers and attend hockey camp to try and keep our development up. And then moved back to Canada when I was 13. And that's when it started to get really ramped up. Was able and really fortunate to play at a couple hockey academies in the Okanagan. So it went from 0 to 100 really quick, from going from not much ice at all to 2 hours a day in the gym, skills, all that stuff.
And Mitch, what made you want to start coaching hockey and what keeps you coming back year after year?
So I just have a undying passion for hockey. Right from the age I picked up my first hockey stick. But for me, coaching, I actually moved up to Lloydminster because my fiance got a job up here, and she has 2 younger siblings. One of which is a brother-in-law who is, now he's 10, but when I first got him to the rink, he was 8. So watching him kind of get the passion that I had as a youngster, I kind of thought, okay, I don't have a lot going on here social-wise, so I'm just going to go out and coach him. And I never thought I would really enjoy coaching kids that were especially young. I thought, I'd get into coaching at the midget or junior level, kind of get the systems into play. But ever since coaching little Alex, it's been addicting for me. Great use of time, love getting out there, and you actually get to have a massive impact on their development at a young age, which I take a lot of pride in.
And Mitch, what made you want to hold a power skating camp in Lloydminster?
Kind of going back to my brother-in-law, Alex, we were looking for some options in the summer, kind of based on the knowledge of how important skating is at a young age, and almost give him an opportunity that I didn't have when I was young growing up in Dubai. I found it difficult to find an actual program that was occurring in the summer. So I kind of saw a gap in the market. I was interested in it last year. The initial idea came up last summer, and I was like, well, maybe we can do it in the fall, but it just got too complicated with schedules and kind of Lloydminster minor hockey taking the majority of ice time. So kind of it was a New Year's resolution this year coming into it where I was like, okay, this is the year we're going to stop dreaming things and actually get after it and do it. And I thought, what a great way to start with a summer program. It was a little bit easier to find ice. And specifically for Alex, it'd be a great potential option for him to kind of develop at a young age.
And how important is the element of power skating in the game of hockey?
So skating is, I would say, the foundation of every hockey player. As someone who lacked skating in my foundational years growing up in Dubai, it really hurt me when I came to Canada, and I would get cut from teams primarily because I wasn't fast enough getting to the right areas of the ice. And so from my perspective, if at a young age you can get the foundations right, get a good stance, you're low to the ice, you got a good stride, that will really set you up for success as you grow further in your career.
And can you give us a little insight into what the camp will be like?
So it's basically going to be a 1-hour session on a weekly basis from the beginning of June to the end of August. We're going to be having a co-ed group of kids ranging from U9 to U11 to U13. So there's going to be a wide range of skating skills right off the hop. But in my opinion, it doesn't really matter what your current state is. The stuff that we're going to be doing is going to be tailored to skating as a foundational skill.
And finally, how can people sign up for this camp?
So unfortunately, we don't have a website up and running, but everybody can reach me if they're interested in signing up at cobbspowerskating@gmail.com.
Mitch, thank you so much for joining us today. And this power skating camp seems like it'll do some great things for youth hockey in Lloydminster.
Yeah, you as well, Ben.
It is time now to have a look at all of the pet pictures you've been sharing with us for our Pets of the Day.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name and have them featured on Pet of the Day.
I'm joined today by the Mayor of Cold Lake, Craig Copeland. Thank you for joining me, Mayor Copeland. We're talking about some fairly serious issues that have been plaguing a major facility in your city for a while, and now it's gone to the priorities committee meetings. Can you tell me what's been going on?
Well, over the year and a half, and going back even before then, we've had a lot of break-ins inside the facility, and then we brought in quite a sophisticated alarm system to address that. And then recently, we've had a lot of vandalism in terms of the elevators. Elevators have been vandalized at least 3 times that I can think of, quite seriously, about $30,000-$40,000 a hit every time. Bathrooms destroyed, and then just recently, what seems to be on a disturbing trend is the fighting that's going on inside the Energy Center.
I understand as well that this is a multi-use facility. What all takes place in that center?
Yeah, it was one of the first P3s, as they called it back in the day, with the province. So we have the community college, Portage College is an anchor tenant. You got the city's recreation, and then you've got a major high school on site. And the original plan of the Energy Center was actually another high school from the Catholic school system. So eventually the plan is that a long-term plan is for a Catholic high school to also be on site.
From what I understand, there is access to the facility from 3 different entrances. So do you have an idea what can be done to limit access?
Yes, administration has come forward with a sort of a security plan during the day. It will come off around 4 o'clock in the evening. But the idea is to make the footprint, and building's massive. And so, why are people entering the arenas when nobody's on the ice? So we're going to limit the amount of ability to move around that facility with gates, which roll down shutters, that kind of thing, and also limit access to just the main door at the front end of the Energy Center. People can see the staff, because we have seniors hockey during the day, and so they'll have to come in through the front door and then get their pass and access the hockey arena. And then the food courts will be accessible, but we're just going to reduce the overall footprint of the building.
So I understand as well, there's an understanding at the level of administration that there might be a bit of inconvenience for regular users. What can you tell them?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, this is what we're dealing with. There just seems to be a lack of respect for the facilities. And so we've got to protect, this is a major taxpayer infrastructure, hundreds of millions of dollars in replacement value there. We've had a fire inside one of the washrooms. So, we just, the council's sort of reached tilt, and administration too. I mean, I really feel bad for the workers that are working inside there. So we're just going to try this out. It's going to inconvenience some of the users during the day. But please work with us and work with the staff, and we'll try to see where this goes from here. But we're going to put up some gates and just narrow the footprint, like I said. It's unfortunate we're going to do it. It's going to take a while to purchase all the equipment, but this is the direction that we're going to head into.
Mayor Copeland, do you know if the teachers have addressed the students on these issues as well?
Oh yeah, I mean, we're not the only school that's faced this. This is just, I mean, the teachers, their hands are tied in today's world of enforcement. I think, we just asking the youth to just respect the property and respect the people that are giving you guidance at the school and inside the energy center is just respect, right? And we could have hid behind it and not publicly addressed it, but we have had a lot of issues there over the years, and it's just been building, and we just sort of reached the point where we're going to have to tell the public what's going on inside the energy center. It's unfortunate, but this is what we're faced with, and we're just going to get in front of it, and then hopefully everything just calms down.
Yes, and I guess the concern as well that things might, take an even worse turn, especially with the fighting. Nobody wants to see that, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's just, our world right now just seems to be upside down. And so, I think we just there's some consequences that we're going to be bringing forward. It's not going to restrict the students from getting to the food courts, but it's just going to narrow the freedom. The building is massive. And so now we're going to limit the ability to move around that building during the day.
All right. Thank you very much for shedding some light on the issue, Mayor Copeland. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, you betcha. Thank you for having me.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
I'm here right now with Aaron Buckingham, the fire chief, and talking about the recent announcement of the Alberta government wildfire season that they're now preparing. How are you today?
Oh, pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good. Thanks for coming over.
Thank you so much. So Alberta government just declared an early, 10 days early for a wildfire season, and I'm wondering that. Does the city of Lloydminster already prepared for this just in case for any potential wildfire or in this case grass fire?
Yeah, so we're a little bit fortunate here in Lloydminster where we're not like a lot of communities in Alberta where the forested area comes right to the edge of the city. So we're a little bit protected from that, which is great. But of course there's always things people can do to be prepared. You look outside right now, there's not a lot of moisture. There's very little snow. I mean, the forecast is to get a little more, but it's going to take a lot more to reduce that risk. But as far as what people think of when they hear wildfires, we're fairly shielded from that locally here, which is great.
So you're talking about moisture, and I was wondering that as well, that the snow from December is very lacking, and right now it's a bit on and off, where there's a snow, there's not. So do you think more snow will help to prevent this grass fire, or is it kind of too late now?
No, I mean, the more snow we can get now, the better. You look at what's happening in Alberta now, there are active wildfires in Alberta as we speak. They're not new starts. They are starts from a year ago, and fires that were burning last year that burn in the ground through the winter, which you hope with a nice big snowpack in the wintertime extinguishes any remaining hotspots in that. We haven't had that snow to extinguish last year's fires. So if that's any indication of what we might expect this year, it could be a very, very, very active wildfire season in Alberta and Saskatchewan and BC. All the western provinces, I think, are on high alert right now for that kind of thing.
So what are some preparations that the city of Lloydminster are doing just in case for the potential grass fire?
Yeah, there's a couple of things that we're doing locally. First of all, we may be and have been asked in the past to deploy to other areas of Alberta to help. So we're currently working through that to make sure that we're able to do that this year as well, because of course any help that we can provide anywhere we can without shorting ourselves locally is key. I mean, the fire service is all about that. Our job is to help and protect people, whether it's locally or around either province, Alberta or Saskatchewan. So that'll be a big deal for us. I think the biggest thing around here is people use the term fire smart, and there's a whole program around that. Making sure that you're just being careful about your property, making sure there's not a lot of deadfall around, that you're cleaning up, you're not hoarding garbage and that kind of stuff, and to make sure that that stuff can't spread in your own community. It's a little different when you compare an urban or a rural, but if look around your yard, look around even your area, and make sure that there's not a lot of things that you think could cause a potential problem. I hope that we don't end up in shortages of water and water restrictions and stuff, depending on runoff and stuff this year, which may also affect us locally. But just take a look and be aware of your surroundings is the best you can do in the city.
And for the first time, first time last year, Lakeland College firefighter student called out to help fight the wildfire. Do you expect they're gonna join in and help prepared, or just in case called out just in case if there's a potential wildfire? Are you expecting them to help out?
Yeah, I can't speak to that except to say that the Alberta government is putting together a set of requirements that you have to meet in order to be able to respond to these things. So it's more of a government thing. They'll call from wherever they have to call from, and that you have to dot your I's and cross your T's. They can't just send anybody out to do the job. It's very dangerous. It's very difficult work, and you have to be prepared to do it.
Now, I'm wondering as well that what's the status right now for the potential fire? Is it high, or is it at this moment it's a low case?
As you can tell by the provincial government putting out their wildfire active season starting already, you can bet that the risk is high right now, pending any kind of major snowfalls, rains in the spring. Right now, I think everybody's basically on that high alert because we don't have the moisture.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, fire can go anywhere, not just in field. It can go to houses that can cause huge fires too. So for the residents in Lloydminster, what's your tip to prevent them to, cause this man-made, can cause a man-made grass fire or wildfire?
Yeah, I think we're pretty fortunate in the city where the potential of a grass fire licking the edge of the city and taking out residential is low. You see a lot of forested areas, a lot of year-over-year deadfall that creates that fire load underneath, and then it comes into the city when the forest is this close. We have some houses on the edge of the city that are close to grass fire and rural, but most of them are blocked by highway or a roadway of some sort. But like I said, make sure that your yard is prepped for it. As long as there's no water restrictions and things like that happening, making sure when it is that season that you keep your grass and your lawn watered and green. Green grass doesn't burn. If it's the most dangerous times around the city and the rural areas surrounding Lloydminster are spring, because you've got the runoff or no runoff, you've got last year's dead grass, and it hasn't greened up yet. So that potential for major fire is that basically, depending on the spring, April to June. And once we get to June and things start greening up, that fire risk usually dissipates a little. But that's the biggest thing we can say for people living within the city.
Well, thank you so much for giving me the information, for giving us, for the viewers, that information to how to prevent and to ensure that they are prepared for any potential wildfires.
Yep. That is all we have for you this evening. Thanks for joining us.